Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 4th and 5th of November 2021. But you can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs. So watch this video till last. But I am requesting you all the students, please download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link. After that, log in with the email ID, then click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, but we are covering that current affair which are very important for every type of exam. This is the hard work, this is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, you will receive three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Most important is the monthly section, and we are providing four type of PDFs. One is detail, second is question and answer format, third is the best 100 current affair that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and the pocket PDF. It means the 2-liner and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise these current affairs in quick format before your exam. But to enhance your performance further, we are also providing 20 most important topic-wise PDF. And if you want to revise one particular topic and all the news related to that topic, you can use this topic-wise PDF. If you are a banking student, we are providing three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section. And all these three things are only related to banking and economy, and you can attempt this quiz on our application on monthly basis. If you want to cover all the past current affair of 2021 just from single PDF, then you can use this PDF for the revision of these current affairs. And we are also providing detailed budget and economic survey. Expected question and answer also will be provided, and this is also related to budget and economic survey. If you are appearing for your respective state exam, we are covering every state and union territories current affair. So all these things comes under only one subscription. You have to just download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link. After that, log in with the email ID, then click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. But both the subscription prices are very much low. But if you're a new student, you are just starting your preparation, I am advising you to subscribe for 2 years. But on both subscriptions, we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. If you have any query, you can email us or you can contact us on this number or email ID. So let's start today's current affair, that is 4th and 5th of November. But first of all, I am requesting you all the students, please like this video, please share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join our Telegram channel from the description box link. Here is the first question in the most important section. Which institute topped in the India under 2022 QS World University ranking but only in the Asia? So there are two rankings which was released by QS. One is the QS World University ranking. Second is QS World University ranking but only in the Asia area or the Asia region. And answer of this question is very simple. If I am talking about only India, then the top institute is IIT Bombay. So IIT Bombay in the top list only in India. But if you are looking under this list, then IIT Bombay's rank is 42nd rank regionally. And IIT Delhi is on the second position. IIT Delhi is on the 45th position in the overall ranking of the QS World University ranking Asia. So remember, IIT Bombay is on the first, IIT Delhi is on the second, and IIT Madras is on the third, so and so on. But you don't have to remember all the institutions, you have to just remember first two. So you can see here total 118 Indian universities in 2022 QS World University ranking, and it is Asia's ranking, and 12 universities up from the last year. But you have to remember this is only the Asia's ranking, and total 687 institutions in 18 nations covered under this ranking. So you can also see here the ranking has been topped by National University of Singapore all over the world for the 4th year in a row. And you can see here, this is the National University of Singapore is on the first position in the Asia's category, and Peking University in the China is on the second position in the Asia's category. And the assessment is premised upon the 11 key indicators. And you can also remember the first rank holder in the World University ranking 2021 in India, it was Indian Institute of Science, which is situated in Bengaluru, and it has ranked 56th in the Asia's category. So you can also remember that if we are talking about World University ranking of 2021 by QS, or you can say Quacquarelli Siemens, then IIC or you can say Indian Institute of Science Bengaluru topped, but in the Asia's category, it is on the 56th position. So you have to remember this. This is very important. IIT Bombay is on the top because examiner will give you this option also. So don't confuse it with. So Asia's IIT Bombay. And you can also remember about QS. This is Quarelli Siemens, and it is the world's leading provider of services, analytics, and insight to the global higher education sector. And it has been providing universities ranking since 2004. And where is the headquarter of QS? Headquarter is in London, United Kingdom. So now we are moving to the next question. India and which country conducted a exercise which is known as Desert Warrior? So you have to just remember the name of the exercise, and Air Forces of India and Egypt. So answer of this question is D, conducted a 2-day military exercise, or you can say it is a Desert Warrior exercise, and it was happened in Egypt. So Egypt air base is used basically, so it is a Egypt. So remember this, and it is to enhance mutual understanding and share operational experience, and the exercise called Desert Warrior, and it was conducted on 30th and 31st of October by Indian Air. So it is the Air Force exercise. Air Force exercise. So remember, just 2 points are there, like Desert Warrior, it is in between India and Egypt. It was happened in Egypt, and you can also remember one thing, that it is a Air Force exercise. You can also see here, Air Forces of India, Egypt conducted a 2-day joint exercise which is known as Desert Warrior. Next, which university has been named as the winner of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Trophy 2021? Very important question, even most important because there are so many awards, because the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport recently announced National Sports Awards of 2021. Even President of India Ramnath Kovind ji will facilitate these awards during the award ceremony, which will be basically held at the Darbar Hall of the Rashtrapati Bhavan on the 13th of November 2021. And the recipient of the National Sports Awards were recommended by the Selection Committee of the National Sports Award 2021. You can first of all see here, the National Sports Awards are recently presented and recognize reward excellence in the sports. And these are the categories basically. First one is the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna category, Arjun Award, Dronacharya Award, Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement, Rashtriya Khel Prosahan Puraskar, and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Trophy. We were talking only about Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Trophy. And this university is Punjab University, which is situated in Chandigarh Union Territory. So you can remember Punjab University is the answer. So remember, this Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Trophy is presented to the overall top performing university in the inter-university tournament. Just remember, it is Punjab University and it is situated in Chandigarh, and it has been named as the winner of this trophy 2021. But you have to remember other very important categories here. Like first one you can see here, it is Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratan Award. Why this is very important? Because Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratan Award, formerly known as Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratan Award. So the you can say revamped name is Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratan Award, and it is the highest sporting honor of India. That's why it is the most important. And the award is presented to recognize the spectacular and outstanding performance by a sports person over a period of 4 years. That's why it is important. And the Khel Ratna Award was basically started in the year of 91-92 when Manmohan Singh was finance minister and PV Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of India. And this award carries a cash prize of 25 lakh rupees. But there are so many awardees, like total 12 winners are there for this award, like you can see here. So many Olympians and the Paralympians are there. Total 5 players are there which belongs to para sports personalities. So you can see here Neeraj Chopra is there, Ravi Kumar Daya is there, Lovlina Borgohain is there, even Avni Lakhera is there, very important name. You can say Mithali Raj is there, Sunil Chetri is there, Manpreet Singh. So these are important personalities, so you have to remember these names. So these are the winner of Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratan Award, but you have to remember all. It will take time, but you can remember daily like 4 players. Then in 3 days you can remember all, because total winners are 12. Next is the Arjun Award. Again very important, and you can remember very important thing, that Arjun Award is provided for outstanding performance in sports and games, recognize the outstanding achievement of an individual in the national sports. And Arjun Award was basically initiated in the year of 1961, and it was named after Arjun, a character from the Sanskrit epic Mahabharata. And the award carries a cash prize of 15 lakh rupees. 15 lakh rupees, and a bronze statue of Arjun and the scroll. And total winners under this category are 35. So I think you can't remember all the 35, but you can just recognize important players like Shikhar Dhawan is there from cricket. You can remember Vandana Kataria, very important player from hockey. Sandeep Narwal from Kabaddi. So very important players are there. So you can remember just some important names. Otherwise, total names are 35. Next is Dronacharya Award, very important. And this is for outstanding coaches in the sports and games instituted in 1985. And it is awarded to the coaches to recognize their outstanding and meritorious work on a consistent basis and enable sportsmen to excel in international events. And the award was provided in two categories. One is lifetime category, second is the regular category. And the Dronacharya Award carries a cash prize of 15 lakh rupees. And it is same with the like Arjun Award. And the Dronacharya Award carries a cash prize of 10 lakh. But there are two categories. So one category receive 15 lakh and second category will receive 10 lakh rupees. 15 lakh is for the lifetime achievement and 10 lakh will be, you can say, regular awardee. So there are total 10 awardees, 5 for the lifetime category and 5 for the regular category. So you don't have to remember the names, just read these names, and there are so many important names, but you can just recall these names. Next is Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement. Again, very important. And Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement honors the individual who contribute to sports through their performance and continue their contribution by promoting the sports even after retirement. And the award carries a prize of 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh rupees. And there are so many names, like you can see Sajjan Singh is there. Sajjan Singh belongs to wrestling. Davinder Singh Garcha is there. Davinder Singh Garcha belongs to hockey. So there are total 5 awardees under this category. Next, Rashtriya Khel Prosahan Puraskar. So Rashtriya Khel Prosahan Puraskar is presented to the corporate entities including both private and public sector, sports control boards, NGOs, including sports bodies at the state and the national level who have contributed towards the promotion and development of sports. And there are two very important organizations like Manav Rachna Educational Institution. Manav Rachna Educational Institution. Second is Indian Oil Corporation. So you can remember these organizations. And Maulana Abul Kalam Azad we already covered, and it is presented to overall top performing university in the inter-university tournament. So the most important which can be asked by examiner, like Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award, Arjun Award, Dronacharya Award, and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Trophy. So these can be asked by examiner, but you can see the list of the you can say this Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, and also the renewed name you can also remember, it is Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. So just remember the names, all are very important. Even the name which I tick, these are most important names. So remember this. Now we are moving to very important question section, but first of all you have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join our Telegram group from the description box link. So I am waiting, all these 3 things will be done by you. So here is the question. Ministry of Rural Development signs Memorandum of Understanding with whom to provide sport to Deen Dayal Upadhyay, or you can say Deen Dayal Upadhyay Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. So again, it is very important mission of the government. Even in the last lecture we already discussed it, and they signed an agreement with Flipkart. So answer of this question is C. So in order to empower the local business and self-help groups through central government Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission Program, a e-marketplace which is Flipkart signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Rural Development. So it is signed with the Ministry of Rural Development. And this partnership is on the lines of this Deen Dayal Upadhyay National Rural Livelihood Mission, focused to strengthen the skill of rural communities for self-employment and entrepreneurship, further boost Atmanirbhar Bharat. It means if the self-help groups are basically working very hard and they are basically making one product, then they can subscribe their product on the Flipkart. It means they can show their product on the Flipkart, and Flipkart can show these product to all our customers, and their sales will increase. Even the you can say livelihood can be enhanced, income can be enhanced of these self-help groups. So this is the main initiative. That's why it is signed by Ministry of Rural Development. So Ministry of Rural Development signs MOU with the Flipkart. And under this MOU, these businesses, especially led by women, because we are focusing on the women entrepreneurship, will utilize Flipkart e-commerce platform to sell their products to its 10 crore customers. So it means their self-help group base can be increased. and MOU is also a part of Flipkart's Samarth program, which was launched in 2019. And what is the motive of this Samarth program? So it aims to provide skilled yet underserved community of craftsmen, weavers, artisans with national market access. Through this Flipkart marketplace, along with dedicated support for knowledge, training, onboarding, cataloging, marketing, etc., these things will be provided by Flipkart Samarth program. And the center government is also targeting to enhance the income of self-help groups to at least 1 lakh rupees per annum. So this is the target of center government. At least 1 lakh rupees per annum should be the income of self-help groups all over India. So that's why they signed this agreement with the Flipkart. And remember what Ministry of Rural Development, Union Ministry is Giriraj Singh, and the constituency is Begusrai, and Begusrai is in Bihar. So moving to next question. What is the name of health card scheme recently launched by Amit Shah for CAPF personnel? CAPF stands for Central Armed Police Force personnel. And name of this health card scheme is Ayushman CAPF. So answer of this question is D. So this scheme is basically for the CAPF personnel and their dependents named as Ayushman CAPF at national level. So you can see here Union Minister of Home and even the Union Minister of Corporation, Amit Shah, launched this health card scheme to provide healthcare services to all the CAPF personnel and their dependents. So Ayushman CAPF scheme is joint initiative of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and National Health Authority. So through this scheme, a CAPF personnel and their families will be enabled to avail cashless inpatient and outpatient healthcare facilities, it means the OPD facilities, at all hospitals impaneled under the Ayushman Bharat Prime Minister Jan Arogya Yojana, under which 5 lakh rupees per family per year is provided, so that they can get better health facility at best hospitals. And as a part of this pan-India rollout of this scheme, the health cards will be distributed to CAPFs, which include serving personnel as well as their family members. Even it will be provided to the retired personnel of the CAPF. And the scheme will even you can say the scheme will cover all the serving personnel and their dependents of the CAPFs under like Ministry of Home Affairs, namely you can say Assam Rifle is there, Border Security Force is there, CISF is there. CISF stands for Central Industrial Police Force or Security Force, you can say. CRPF is there, Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, National Security Guard, Sashastra Seema Bal. So all these will be covered under this. And around 35 lakh cards will be scheduled to be distributed by the December 2021. So it means all the CAPF personnel will be covered under this Ayushman Bharat scheme. In simple words, you can say, and name of this scheme is Ayushman CAPF. And remember, Amit Shah, Union Minister of Home and Corporation, constituency is Gandhinagar. It was earlier the constituency of Lal Krishna Advani ji, but now it is a constituency of Amit Shah, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Moving to next question. Bombay Stock Exchange collaborated with which bank to encourage the small medium enterprises and also listing of the startups? So already Bombay Stock Exchange signed an agreement with the Chhattisgarh government so that Chhattisgarh small medium enterprises can list their companies under Bombay Stock Exchange, and Bombay Stock Exchange will guide to promote these industries. Now they signed this agreement with the HDFC on similar lines. So answer of this question is A. So a collaboration helps the small and medium industries and startups to get in touch with the accountants, lawyers, bankers in the list of the Bombay Stock Exchange. So that's why they signed an agreement with the Bombay Stock Exchange, or you can say with the HDFC Bank, so that the businesses which are listed under HDFC can also get the encouragement from the Bombay Stock Exchange that the benefits will be provided if you list your company under Bombay Stock Exchange. So Bombay Stock Exchange signed MOU with the HDFC Bank to promote listing of the small medium industries. And the collaboration resolves financial constraints for the startups and especially the small medium industries and creates sustainability. And through this MOU, HDFC and Bombay Stock Exchange shall evaluate banking and leading solutions for startups and the small businesses or small medium enterprises. So in simple, you can say that Bombay Stock Exchange will guide the small and medium industries to list their companies at Bombay Stock Exchange, and even if there is any requirement of the financial constraints or any type of the credit they needed, then HDFC will provide that credit. So that's why they tied up. And remember about Bombay Stock Exchange, this is very important. It was established in 1875. Its current MD and CEO is Ashish Kumar. Ashish Kumar. Ashish Kumar Chauhan. Headquarter is in Mumbai. Headquarter is in Mumbai. And remember about HDFC, it was incorporated in 1994. Its MD and CEO is Shashidhar Jagdishan. Its headquarter is in Mumbai. Its tagline is "We understand your world." And you can also remember a chatbot name. Chatbot of HDFC is known as EVA. So this question asked in recent banking exam. Next is a book title, The Sage with Two Horns, Unusual Tales from Mythology, authored by whom? So this is important book because the author is very important and author name is Sudha Murthy. So answer of this question is B. So Sudha Murthy, the chairperson of the Infosys Foundation and a renowned author, has published her new book titled as The Sage with Two Horns, Unusual Tales from Mythology. And you can also remember this is the fifth book. This is the fifth and the last book of the you can say series, which is known as Unusual Tales from Mythology. So this is a 5-book series and this is the fifth book which is written by Sudha Murthy under this series. And you can also see a very wonderful cover page, Sudha Murthy, The Sage with Two Horns, and you can see here the two horns, Unusual Tales from Mythology. And the series features the stories of kings and queens, gods and goddesses, sage, and extraordinary men and the women of the wisdom. And Sudha Murthy is a prolific, you can say, writer in English and the Kannada language, and she has written novels, technical books, travelogues, collections of short stories and the non-fictions. But you have to just remember the name and the name of the author, Sudha Murthy. She is the chairperson of the Infosys Foundation. Next is who launched whistleblower portal to raise complaint on corruption. So this is recently launched by IREDA. Answer of this question is C. And it stands for Indian Renewable Energy Department Agency. Indian Renewable Energy Department or Development Agency, which is a public sector undertaking under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, launched a whistleblower portal as a part of the Vigilance Awareness Week, which was celebrated on 26th of October to 2nd of November 2021. So you can see here, this is IREDA launched whistleblower portal. Just remember. And whistleblower portal as a part of Vigilance Awareness Week. You can also remember Vigilance Awareness Week was celebrated on 26th of October to 2nd of November 2021. And it provides facilities to employees of IREDA to file complaints related to fraud, corruption, abuse of power, and other things which can be filed under this portal, which is known as you can see here, whistleblower portal. And the portal is a part of IREDA zero tolerance of corruption policy, and it will also enhance the good and responsible governance. And you can remember Vigilance Awareness Week was celebrated from 26th of October to 2nd of November, and the theme is Independent India @75 Self-Reliance with Integrity. And very important organization is their Chief Vigilance Commission, and it was set by the Government of India in 1964, and it was set up with the recommendations of a committee on prevention of corruption, which was led by Shri K. Sanathan. So you can just remember the committee name, K. Sanathan. So this is the chairman of this committee who recommended the formation of Chief Vigilance Commission. And who is currently the Chief Vigilance Commissioner? It is Suresh N. Patel. Suresh N. Patel. So you can also remember about this organization, which is Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. Chairman and Managing Director is Pradeep Kumar Das. Pradeep Kumar Das. And this organization was set up in 1987 and its headquarters is in New Delhi. Moving to next question. Who wrote a book? Again, one book is titled here, Not Just Cricket, a Reporter's Journey. So by default with the name you can guess that this is written by one very famous journalist, and name of this journalist is Pradeep Magazine. So answer of this question is D. So it consists of life experiences, social, political ups and downs of the Indian cricket by the journalist Pradeep Magazine. And it also contains memorable cricket encounters. But the name is Not Just Cricket. It is not only related to cricket, because the writer described the picture of the Kashmir also, and it is a picture of Kashmir from 1950s to terror-ravaged Punjab, from the Mandir Masjid riot or the rift and the impact of the Mandal politics to the tragic consequences of the Kashmir situation. So it starts from 1950s and the current Kashmir situation, and it is written by Pradeep Magazine. You can also see here the cover page, Not Just Cricket, and it is also recommended by Ramchandra Guha, who is a very famous historian, and Pradeep Magazine, very famous author and even very famous journalist. Next, you can cover this news from the picture, and this is Union Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Ji, who launched or who inaugurated the advanced 650 teraflop supercomputing facility at NABI. And what is the meaning of NABI? It is National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute, which is situated in Mohali, Punjab. So you can remember this. And he also stated that the government of India will identify and promote 75 innovative high startups in the 75 year of India's independence. And this supercomputing facility will act as a facilitator for the 75 innovative startups working in the areas like telemedicine, digital health, or you can say big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, and other technologies also. So it will definitely help to these working startups. So just remember, this National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute is situated in Mohali, Punjab. Next, we are moving to important question section, but first of all, you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform and join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. Asian Development Bank approved 61 million loan for the urban development in which area? So very simple question. If you want to remember, then you have to just remember the name is Agartala. It means I am talking about Tripura, but it is specially for Agartala development, or it is for the urban development of Agartala. And this $61 million, it means you can say it is almost 553 crore rupees, which is provided by Asian Development Bank to improve livability, harness technology, and promote new developments to accommodate the expanding population in the city of Agartala, Tripura. And the Agartala City Urban Development Project will build and upgrade 48 km of new or existing stormwater drainage and construct 23 km of climate resilient urban roads. So this is the project under the Agartala Urban Development Project. So remember, it is Asian Development Bank, which was established in 1966. Total member countries are 68. Its headquarters is in Manila, Philippines, and its head is Mastsugu. So you can also see here. Moving to next question, it is our one-liner important points, and here is the first point. CCI, it is Competition Commission of India, approves HDFC Life's 100% acquisition of Exide Life. So very simple question, just read this line and remember this line, that HDFC Life Insurance Company acquired 100% stake of Exide Life Insurance. They already acquired, but now they got the approval of Competition Commission of India. Next, Asian Development Bank, we already covered this question. RBI issues revised prompt corrective action framework for the banks. Not important, but you can remember it is only for the scheduled commercial banks, not for the small finance banks, payment banks, or the regional rural banks. And under this revised frameworks like capital, asset quality and leverage will act as a key areas for monitoring. Like you can also remember that capital, asset quality, and profitability were the key areas for monitoring in the 2017 framework, but now you can say profitability is now converted into the leverage. So just remember, and the provision of a revised PCA framework will be effective from 1st of Jan 2022. Next, you can remember that a memorandum of understanding was signed between the Tamil Nadu Industrial Investment Corporation Limited and Society of Indian Defence Manufacturing and Competition, even you can say Confederation of Indian Industry, not the Competition Commission of India, it is Confederation of Indian Industries, signed to catalyze and facilitate defense manufacturing in the micro, small and medium industries, especially in the Tamil Nadu sector. And it will address the needs of MSME sector in meeting the defense industrialization and manufacturing requirement, skill set development, infrastructure build-up, and invest promotion in the defense manufacturing in Tamil Nadu. So employability can also be increased in Tamil Nadu. So you can remember. And the important organization is Confederation of Indian Industries. Director General is Chandrajit Banerjee. Next, almost 80% of the economy is now formal after COVID digitization drive. So the digitization drive and pandemic situation of a gig companies or the economy have led to a faster formalization of the economy. And compared to 2018, the share of the informal sector shrunk from 52.4% to 15 to 20%. So before COVID-19, total informal sector was 52.4%, but now it is just 15 to 20%. Next, TCI Cold Chain formed joint venture with the Japan's company and name is Mitsui. So TCI Cold Chain Solution, a unit of Transport Corporation of India and Japan's Mitsui Co Limited, are entered into a joint venture to meet the growing demand for the temperature controlled logistic solution. So the perishable things can be transferred through this venture. So now we are moving to the question of the day. What is the question of 2nd and 3rd of November 2021? Up to 70% of which of the following countries is covered by the Kalahari Desert? So you have to first look out at Kalahari Desert. Guys, this is Kalahari Desert, you can see here. And now you can recall that three countries are basically covered under the Kalahari Desert. One is Namibia, second is Botswana, third one is South Africa. But we are talking about 70% area. So you can see here 70% of area lies only in the country of Botswana. So answer of this question is very simple. Answer is B. Botswana is the answer. So remember this. Now we are moving to the question of the day. What is the question of the day? Which of the following country is also known as the Rainbow Nation? Again from the African continent question, because we are covering the most important questions of the African continent. Next we will cover you can say North America or the South America, one of these. But first of all we have to complete the African continent. So you have to answer me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. Please like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. And join our Telegram group from the description box link and press this bell button so that you can receive the notification on time. It is a Awares Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. Definitely. Don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Always be happy. Thank you guys. Take care and bye-bye.